All right, so let's get started with our Unit 1 review. Remember, Unit 1 is known as the Foundations period. It roughly goes from prehistory, or about 8000 BCE, to 600 BCE. So prehistory will include both the Paleolithic era, and then around 8000 BCE, we'll see the Neolithic era, and by 600 BCE, we'll see the rise of the first civilizations across the world. So let's get started. The out of Africa theory. So a lot of archaeologists and historians have come up with this theory that the modern day human beings, Homo sapiens, originated in East Africa, and they slowly, over periods of thousands of years, migrated out of Africa to the other continents, from Africa to Asia, from Asia to Europe, and from Asia to Oceania, from Asia to the Americas, because of food supply, right? The people were searching for food, they were searching for animals to hunt and crops to eat, and they migrated slowly over the period of thousands and thousands of years. All right, come on, let's load this up. All right, number two is the development of tools, right? Wherever humans went, they would develop tools that would allow them to survive in their new environment. So things like fire and stone tools, clothing, nets, canoes, right? They would allow them to migrate and survive and thrive regardless of their environment. Right, here we see some of the earliest weapons, right? Spearheads and arrowheads made out of tools. Fire, of course, being of absolute importance. Now, wherever they went, these early human beings during the Paleolithic era formed small kinship groups, right? These small kinship groups were people who were kind of sort of related to each other, you know, um, through family bonds. Now, these social groups, they were egalitarian, meaning that there was no rich or poor, everyone was pretty much the same. They were also self-sufficient, meaning that they produced all the goods, all the food, all the tools, all the clothing that they needed. So they didn't really have to trade with other groups, even though they did. They produced everything they needed for their own self-survival. They were also had gender equality because both male and female produced goods and produced food at roughly equal portions. They were considered to have equal rights. And of course, they would be led by chiefs or elders, people who had gained enough support by the common people to support them and believe in them to be the leaders. These hunter-gatherer groups, right, they would trade with each other, right? They exchange ideas, they like how to make weapons or clothing. They would trade tools, right? Um, like bows and arrows and spears. And sometimes they would trade people where they would marry, people from one tribe to the next. And of course, there would be bartering, meaning that they're trading one good for another good. They didn't have a concept of money or currency that didn't exist during this time period. Here we see the famous Lascaux cave paintings in France, some of the earliest known cave paintings created by human beings um, in the Paleolithic era. All right, so we're going to stop here for part one, and then we're going to pick up immediately with part two, which is the Neolithic Revolution.